Sarawak state election set for 18 December. Buy Malaysian products campaign, mega sales program to be intensified. Welcome to Updates at Noon with me, Brenda Lupol. The Election Commission, EC, has announced that the 12th Sarawak state election will be held on 18 December, with nomination to take place on 6 December. In a special media conference just now, the EC chairman, Dato' Abdul Ghani Saleh, said early voting would take place on 14 December.
Bagi menjalankan proses PRU DUN ini, SPR telah melantik 82 pegawai pengurus pilihan raya dibantu oleh 249 orang penolong pegawai pengurus. Manakala bagi tujuan memantau semua aktiviti pilihan raya sepanjang tempoh rasmi berkempen, SPR akan menubuhkan 155 pasukan kuasa kempen pilihan raya yang dianggotai oleh wakil-wakil daripada PDRM, pihak berkuasa tempatan dan wakil-wakil calon yang bertanding. Daftar pemilih pilihan raya di PPR yang akan digunakan untuk PRU DUN Sarawak ke-12 adalah daftar pemilih terkini sehingga daftar pemilih tambahan DPT2 ST2 2021 yang dikemaskini sehingga 2 November 2021. Daftar pemilih tersebut mengandungi 1,252,014 orang pengundi.
Sarawak Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg on 5th November announced that the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly was dissolved effective the November with the consent of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, thus paving the way for the state election. This following the lifting of the proclamation of emergency on Sarawak, which came into effect on 2nd August. High-impact campaigns such as the Buy Malaysian Products campaign, KBBM, and Mega Sales Program, PJM, will be continued and intensified next year. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said that KBBM was found to have a positive impact on the domestic economy, while PJM had met its sales targets.
KBBM telah mencatatkan impak positif kepada ekonomi domestik. Nilai jualan barangan buatan Malaysia bagi tahun 2020 telah berjaya mencecah 3.3 bilion ringgit berbanding 2.87 bilion ringgit pada tahun 2019. PJM pula turut mencatatkan prestasi seperti yang disasarkan. Sasaran nilai jualan sebanyak 100 bilion ringgit pada suku keempat tahun 2020 telah berjaya dicapai dengan mencatatkan nilai jualan sebanyak 135.9 bilion ringgit.
Speaking at the Domestic Trade Awards 2020, APDN 2020, at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre last night, the Prime Minister said the government through KPDN HEP was always mobilising the domestic economic recovery machinery through high-impact initiatives to further boost the development of the trade distribution sector. Among the measures taken to support the recovery and re-empowerment of the domestic trade sector is that the government has allocated 33 million ringgit under the 2022 budget specifically to revitalise the trade distribution sector. The Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, MOTAC, have handed over financial assistance amounting to 59,800 ringgit to industry players under 4 categories in Kuala Lumpur in an effort to revive the sector that has been severely affected by the COVID-19 outbreak. Its Minister, Dr. Sri Nancy Shukri, said the 4 categories comprise 9 individual tour guides, 10 tourism operations and travel agencies, My Second Home Malaysia program, 5 companies, as well as 3 spa and foot massage centre operators. Speaking at the handing over ceremony last night, she expressed hope that the initiative could reduce their burden and help smooth the affairs of industry players, especially before the reopening of international borders.
Syukur Alhamdulillah, kini sektor pelancongan di Malaysia mula kembali rancak. Malah pelaksanaan projek rintis gelembung pelancongan antarabangsa yang telah bermula pada 15 November adalah signifikan sebagai penanda atas untuk pembukaan sepadan negara dalam masa 3 bulan yang akan datang.
Motak had previously hosted the same program in Langkawi, Kedah, followed by Kuching, Sarawak, and Kuala Terengganu, Terengganu. The flash floods following heavy rain around Ampang Jaya on Monday were believed to have been caused by several factors, including the highway construction work in the nearby area. Ampang Member of Parliament Dato' Zuraida Kamarudin claimed that the soil and mud from the construction site had piled up in the drains and river, causing the drainage to become shallow and resulting in floods.
Saya difahamkan hujan turun selama 5 jam dan ianya telah membawa 140 mm yang mana sungai Ampang ini hanya boleh menampung sebanyak 60 mm. So jadi dah 2 kali ganda. Jadi itu menyebabkan dia melimpah keluar dan ianya juga terjadinya banjir ini juga kerana ada lumpur-lumpur construction. Kita tak mahu perkara ini terjadi lagi sekali kerana kemungkinan hujan kalau datang. Jadi kita pastikan bahawa kerja pembaikan dipercepatkan dan juga kena pastikan juga the overall keseluruhan pembangunan highway itu tidak terjejas dengan kejadian kita pada hari ini.
Dato' Zuraida, who is also Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister, was met at the Ampang Jaya Municipal Council MPAJ Hall in Lembah Jaya Utara. Several areas around Ampang Jaya, such as Lembah Jaya Utara, Kampung Melayu Ampang, Kuala Ampang and Jalan Kolam Air were hit by flash floods following heavy rain on Monday evening. It had affected 801 individuals from 162 families. The Road Transport Department, JPJ, will be conducting an operation dubbed OPSEDA nationwide, starting today, to track down vehicles that do not have insurance coverage. Its Director General, Dato' Zailani Hashim, in a statement said monitoring and enforcement actions would be done through roadblocks at selected locations. He said road users who do not have insurance coverage would cause inconvenience to other vehicle owners in the event of any kind of accident. According to him, owner of vehicles that do not have insurance coverage can be fined not exceeding 1,000 ringgit and have their driving license suspended for 12 months. The JPJ will also provide its mobile facility for the public to renew road tax and driving licenses during the implementation of OPSEDA. Improvements were recorded in the overall adoption of the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance (MCCG) by listed companies in 2020. The Securities Commission (SC) in its Corporate Governance Monitor 2021 report released today said out of the 36 best practices, 24 had adoption levels of at least 90%. That is, at least 90% of listed companies had adopted the practice, against 23 best practices in 2019. However, the step-up practices introduced to encourage all companies to go a step further in strengthening the corporate governance practices saw among the lowest adoption levels, as low as only 5% by listed companies compared to other MCCG best practices. Best practices with the lowest adoption levels include Step-Up Practice 7.3, disclosure of detailed senior management remuneration on a named basis at 5%. Step-Up Practice 4.3, setting a 9-year tenure limit for independent directors at 11% and step-up practice 9.3%. The board establishes a risk management committee at 29%. Besides the step-up practices, 2 other practices in the MCCG recorded adoption levels of less than 50% of listed companies, namely Practice 4.51, gender diversity on boards, and Practice 7.22, disclosure of top 5 senior management remuneration on a named basis and in bands of 50,000 ringgit. The SC expressed disappointment that a large number of listed companies still depart from Practice 4.5. which recommends that the board discloses in its annual report the company's policies on gender diversity, its targets and measures to meet those targets. But first, national squash players Rachel Arnold, Aifa Azman and Ivan Yuan got off their Malaysian Open Squash Championship 2021 campaign on the right foot following victories in opening round matches yesterday. In the tournament held at the National Squash Centre in Bukit Jalil, the unseeded Rachel dispatched Ze Wing Tong of Hong Kong 11-12, 5-11, 11-9 and 11-5 to set up a daunting clash against 7-seeded Donna Loban of Australia in the second round later today. In the meantime, world number 69, Aifa, pulled off a stunning victory against Egypt's Maya Hani, ranked 47 in the world, 11-8, 11-5, 11-3. However, Aifa is slated to face a strenuous challenge in the next round, as she will meet third seed Yathrib Adel after the Egyptian received a bye in the first round. Meanwhile, an all-Malaysian affair in the men's first round saw Ivan Yuan produce a great comeback after trailing 7-11 in the first set to get the better of Ong Sai Hung in the next 3 games 11-5, 11-8, 11-3. National top player Ng Ian Yeo, who is currently ranked 18 in the world, awaits Ivan in the second round. The third-seeded Ian Yeo received a bye in the first round. Football fans hoping to watch the 2021 Malaysia Cup final at the National Stadium in Bukit Jalil on 30th November can purchase their tickets via www.tickethotline.com starting from noon this Saturday. Malaysian Football League MFL Chief Executive Officer Stuart Ramalingam said that tickets for the final will be priced at 50 ringgit and 70 ringgit for general admission, 80 ringgit for premium general admission and 150 ringgit for premium grandstand, the same as those sold for the final of the 2019 edition. In a statement, Stuart said, currently, a total 20,000 tickets for open seats will be sold to adhere to the spectator capacity permitted by the National Security Council, MKN. Stuart also hoped that the MKN would consider their request for spectators at the stadium to be allowed to eat and drink in the stadium. 4 teams are in the running to make the final this year: 2019 champions Johor Darul Ta'zim JDT, Terengganu FC, Kuala Lumpur City FC and Melaka United FC. The semi-finals are evenly poised after the first leg, which saw the Terengganu JDT and KL City Melaka ties ending in 1-1 draws. The recent leg will be on Friday. Last year, Malaysia's Cup competition was discontinued and cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Perak FC are now owned by advertising company Impact Media and Communication (IMC) Sdn Bhd, who will take over all the team's shares. Perak Football Association PAFA acting president Dato' Muhammad Yadzan Muhammad said the decision to sell the team's shares was taken following discussions with and the interest shown by the company.
Maka hari ini kita umumkan bahawa Impact Media Communication Sdn Bhd akan mengambil alih saham 100%. Ya, kita jual 100%. Dan berkuat kuasa pada hari ini segala urusan Perak FC PAFA akan ambil alih. Ya, PAFA akan ambil alih sehingga segala proses transaksi selesai.
Dato' Muhammad Yadzan also said that all matters pertaining to the takeover of Perak FC would be expedited and the whole management of the team would be handed over to IMC. He also said that they would hold discussions regarding the team's players and the appointment of the chief executive officer in the near future. He, however, said that the value of the takeover would not be divulged until all matters had been resolved. Updates at noon and making the headlines. Sarawak state election set for 18 December. Tune in to news at 10 coming up at 10 p.m. on my Freeview Saluran Berita RTM channel 123. You can stream the channel on YouTube or visit RTM's Click web portal and mobile app. Till then, I'm Brendan Paul. Stay tuned to TV2.